Welcome sim racing fans to HyperGrid Racing, where today the spotlight shines on the SF23 cars at the legendary Silvertone circuit. This track is steeped in Formula One history, known as the birthplace of it, as well as, well, the perfect stage for 32 laps racing of high-speed action around the Grand Prix layouts here tonight. My name is Sean Stam here on Stam Studio Network. Thank each and every single one of you here as we continue to crest our way closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers. Thank each and every single one of you. Thank the drivers who always put on a show here for the HyperGrid series. As we got Caden Richardson out here leading in the points for Team Red Bull. Don't look now, but Alfa Romeo there, there for Talon Drake. He is there, right there behind our points leader. About to Chaz Johnson sitting third in the points. Got Akhmatov right there running fourth in the Ferrari. Thompson, Longstaff in those Jaguars. And the Kick Sarber there for Alexander Corals. Doesn't look like Alexander is here tonight, but you know what is here tonight is these qualifying laps already being put into place. Welcome in. Thank you each and every single one of you for joining in for a pretty fun race here tonight from Silvertone. It's sort of tricky, not really too much elevation going on here tonight. We'll take a look at that track map. Got 18 different turns at a 5.8 kilometer layout. Ambient temperatures tonight in the 91 Fahrenheit range, but you gotta look at that track conditions right up there in the top right. 69 degree Fahrenheit track temp. Should be a fairly good day for racing here. We're sitting out just out of Silvertone in England at an altitude of 481 feet. Alrighty, we have qualifying taking place right now. Zach Cardoso is out on the track putting laps down. He's trying to chase down Chaz Johnson right now as Chaz Johnson has the fastest lap. Right now, 8 drivers registered for this SF23 Silvertone session. These SF23 cars, they're pretty reminiscent to the old Formula One cars there. You see obviously some open wheel machine action happening, but Zach Cardoso is weaving, jeeving and driving, trying to get as much speed. Well, he's bleeding off some speed, excuse me. He's trying to get as much temperature and pressure into these racing tires here before his qualifying lap. I'll throw out even the old the track map here for us tonight, and we can better track where Zach Cardoso is around this 5.8 kilometer track. Our one and only driver up here out of Canada. Let's hop on board here for him, at least for the front half of this lap. Gonna head on to the Hamilton straight down into Abbey there to turn number 1, and then we'll head into a more treacherous place like the Loop. Thankfully, we are sim racing here. Could you imagine the G-force as you're, oh no, Zach Cardoso, he's gonna get loose as a goose, gonna have to give up that lap. I was about to say there, it's not even through, it is kind of an SS section, but man, oh man, the neck strength, the G-forces here from tonight, not even around Silvertone, but as well, I mean, pretty much throughout the whole season thus far. Last week, we were at the Hockenheim ring where Caden Richardson took away the win. Jasvir Matheru, I don't think was out there last week, but looks like Chaz Johnson took away P2, I believe. No. Oh, yeah, Chaz Johnson out here. He's not on the track as he has already put it down on the pole. Oh, right as I say that, Caden Richardson, winner from a race week ago. He's going to come out there, slap it on the pole here tonight. He's a coach out here for this HyperGrid Racing series. You can kind of see why he is a coach. He definitely has the lap time, the racing craft, the racing skill behind the wheel of that Oracle Red Bull number 82 machine. Believe we still continue to see, yes, Red Bull still in the constructors team standings here with us within only 5 races down, but Red Bull has 135 total points as old Caden Richardson is going to go for a slip and slide there on his fly. Well, I was going to say flyer. Imagine it was a flyer as he was just putting down a purple lap there. He'll have to regroup and rearm. It's actually Jaguar right now who sit excuse me, it's Ferrari who sits P in the 3 in the points with 52, and then Jaguar sitting back there at 46 for the team standings. Right now, all these drivers should be making their way out on track, or at least the drivers who don't have a lap down just yet. Looks like Jason Bryan, he is on his out lap right now. That's Kick Steak Sauber driver. He's trying to work his gearbox up to temp. The whole car here pretty much. He's going to come around He's pretty much on his flyer lap here. This will be a fun driver to hop on board with. And look at the bottom right of your screen here as well. 170 miles an hour. Just I don't even think you're dabbing the brakes there, popping just even a lift off the old throttle there. Looks like Jason Bryan, he's going to try and search for a flyer this lap, as he's still, well, searching for a lap in general to put down tonight. Only 4 minutes left within the qualifying session. It has to be a clean lap for it to count, as, oh my goodness gracious, Jason Bryan goes for a four-wheeling effect there and definitely gets his pilot's license as he goes off the track. Take another look at this here. I mean, yeah, he's off the track here, but look at this spine. I would not want to be Jason Bryan's back right here after this big old jump as the SF-23 just tries to make it back out on the track. Boy, that feels pretty big there in the real life racing world. Thankfully, we're in the sim world here tonight, where Caden Richardson, he'll still continue to lead with a .88 gap over the field. Oh, we got Daniel down there live in old YouTube chat. I appreciate that, Daniel. Here to support the one and only. That 24 has a cool paint scheme. I'm right there with you at the old Oracle Red Bull paint scheme going on there. It's it's a little spec map going on. Did you see it that time? Oh, cameraman got a haircut that time by to Chaz Johnson. Chaz Johnson's going to try and fight for this pole position here with 3 minutes to go. Seems like everyone is overshooting that turn. Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's especially the tight technical portion of like really out and into turn 3, 4, and 5 here as we head into the loop. Hop on board here with Chaz Johnson once again, and man, left, right. I get lost out here at old Silvertone. Finally get to the DRS range at the track. There you see. I don't think we do have the push to pass available to us in qualifying, so no bright green LEDs out here at the top of these SF-23 machines at the start or through qualifying, but we will see that's all throughout the race through our 32 lap race, I believe it will be. Right now that gap's still about .88 seconds from Caden Richardson to Chaz Johnson. It's a lot closer of a gap there between Chaz Johnson and Zach Cardoso. Drivers first, second, third, fourth, and we're still waiting for about 4 other drivers to qualify. Zach Cardoso, we're looking at Chaz Johnson. Chaz did improve on his lap time, but not enough, as Richardson puts down a 36.6, 1.85 seconds faster than the field. Here comes Cardoso this time by. Looks like Jason Bryan is still also searching to put down a clean lap before this qualifying session is over. If you do make it to the start-finish line before the end of the clock, you have your chance to run out that at least rest of your qualifying session. Here comes Bryan back down and through the Hamilton straight into turns 1, 2, and 3 this time by. We'll see if he can make a clean lap happen. Just needs to keep all 4 tires on the tarmac. Oh, as he's going to go loose. It'll be interesting if that one constituted at an off track or not. I don't think it did, but man, oh man, the left side tire is picking up gravel there as he ran wide. The gravel is definitely off of the tires here at this point, as he's already ran damn near a whole kilometer since about as happened. Driver 99, will we see him put down at least a lap here tonight, as he's going to make his way through tight turn technical 4, 5, and 6, excuse me, that's 4, 5, 6, I'm going to correct myself on that one from earlier on. Jason Bryan is so far so clean, it's looking like a yellow sector as he's going to get a little tight there at the corner of the exit. He's going to make his way down and through the arena section this time by. Oof. I'm not seeing him on the track map, so it might disallow Jason Bryan lap here coming to the start-finish, the alternate start-finish line, I do believe. Jason Bryan, no lap time down, but he still will obviously be able to start this race. Chingiz Akhmatov also looking to put down a lap late in our qualifying session as well. That Marlboro Reds number 8 is right now 5, 6, yep, our 8th driver on the field. Only 5 have qualified. Here we go, final minutes of quali. Will we see any of these drivers left out on the track put down at least one lap? Curious to see the old cockpit, yes, cockpit camera here tonight. Because when we are in racing, once again, we're not going to see it in qualifying, but the overtake, the push to pass, I think it's only, what, 180? Somebody let me know down there in the old YouTube lands. But it's only a very distinct amount of seconds that you have throughout this whole, 32-lap race. So as Caden Richardson once again continues to sweep the field, winner of last race there at Hockenheim Ring, winner two weekends ago as well. He's going to continue to show us all how it's done with that 1.8 second gap over the field. Here comes Chingiz Akhmatov to the start-finish line. This time by checkered flag is out. Does Chingiz at least get a lap time down this time? Nope. It doesn't look like it, as Richardson is going to stick with this 36.6. So here we go. If you're just now joining us, first of all, thank you. I appreciate each and every single one of you as we are cresting our way closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers. Tell your grandma, tell your kitty cat, tell your doggy as well. It's okay if you got to make a separate account for him. It's okay, it happens. Qualifying is just now finishing up. Richardson leads him out there on the pole. Johnson, Zach Cardoso, Jasveer Matheru, Jacob Tutwiler, Patrick Dunn, Jason Bryant, and Chingiz Akhmatov all still searching for a lap time here. Chingiz is going to make his way down and into the pit lane. So that should be pretty much our starting grid here tonight, as well as the point standings. We'll cut to that real quick if you are just now joining us. Caden Richardson, of course, obviously leading it out there up front. 3 starts, 3 poles, 3 podium finishes. Leading us out here in the point standings with 79 points right there behind him for Alfa Romeo. It's Talon Drake, but no Talon Drake out here on the track tonight. Driver for Red Bull Racing, Johnson, and then you got Chingiz Akhmatov, as well as, what's the first one? Oh, I think it's Patrick Thompson. I could be wrong there. Thompson right there in the 5th running points position. So we also, real quick, Red Bull is also leading in the F1 point standings, as well as Alfa Romeo and Jaguar running P3, surprisingly, even though Thompson and Longstaff right there are shown in the 4th and 5th running points positions. Alrighty, real quick, we'll take a look at our race grid here tonight, brought to you by Cotton Bowl Speedway, some of the best dirt track racing in the nation. Caden Richardson out there on the pole with a 36.6. Chaz Johnson, Zach Cardoso, Jasveer Matheru, Jacob Tutwiler, Patrick Dunn, Chingiz Akhmatov, and Jason Bryan, rounding out our 8 driver field here tonight. Grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack. You are not going to want to miss anything throughout this race here, ladies and gentlemen. Even if your drink is a little bit stronger than some sweet tea action, that's just A-okay. So we got 32 laps for some racing. Caden Richardson out there out up front. Chaz Johnson's going to start there right there beside him. Who is going to try and drop a gear the fastest and disappear here heading into Abbey Turn 1, as well as right there at the exit of Hamilton Straight. All right, race fans, here we go. Just waiting for the start lights to show here in just a few moments' time. But I want you to do something special for us here. I want you to get up, stand up, get up for your life, and don't give up the fight. Because as we await for the start lights to come out here and finish them up, here we go. We're going to head side by side at Silvertone Circuit for the HyperGrid Racing Series. SF23 action is underway. Caden Richardson, Chaz Johnson out up front. We're going to start to look a little 2 and 3 wide right there behind them. So far, so clean, so cordial there into the first corner. Here comes Zach Cardoso. Here comes Chingiz as right there behind him. Here we go side by side within 7th and 8th positions. Zach Cardoso, Jacob Tutwiler. Oh, there's contact there. That's a big incident for Chingiz. He's involved. Jasveer Matheru makes it through, but you know who doesn't? That's Jason Bryan involved. So is Jacob Tutwiler. Stake driver with some pretty heavy incident earlier on in the race. Jacob Tutwiler, Chingiz Akhmatov. Oh, his whole front nose is destroyed. 3 meatball flags earlier on. We could be seeing a virtual safety car as Caden Richardson continues to run away from the field. Chaz Johnson runs P2. Zach Cardoso runs P3. Patrick Dunn and Jasveer Matthew are still going at it here for 4th and 5th running positions. We'll take a replay of that huge snowball incident there into turn 1 in a few moments' time. We're going to hop on board with Jasveer here and see when, if he uses his overtake this earlier on in the run. Oh, as Jasveer gets tight there, that SF23 not turning the way he's really expecting it to, or really didn't, he didn't turn up enough input into the corner there earlier on, so he's going to have to regroup and rearm there, as not really dealing with too much damage, but just that dirty air out of the machine up there up in front of him. Caden Richardson continues to lead out up front. Chaz Johnson, how about Zach Cardoso? He continues to try and find that P2 running spots as he holds off the final driver interview spots. There you see that bright green LED. It's starting to blink at top of that number 1 machine. That's when you know that he's going to start to use that overtake. Drops all the way back down here into gear 2 as, oh, what a save there for Chaz Johnson as that Red Bull Racing Oracle machine. That could have been the end of Chaz's night there as he, I mean, that was, I don't know if you saw the gloves and the wheels there, but 180-degree steering input there to save Chaz Johnson allows him to fight another night. Here we go. It's almost going to be some side-by-side action here. Zach Cardoso is going to try and size him up. Not only is Zach Cardoso trying to size him up, but he is trying to get around this dirtier air out on the front end of his rear wing. Already 3 laps down out of a 32-lap race as Caden Richardson continues to run away with a 3.8-second gap at this point. Here we go. These drivers are trying to use their track limits for all their abilities here tonight. Is that, we are, oh God, okay. Well, I'm seeing right now live in YouTube land, we have a meteorologist here live from the iRacing simulation motor, just kidding there, but it is Hellraiser, and he's letting us know that we're about to see some hell being raised here tonight. We are hearing possibly some rain is coming here soon. Light rain, might I add. Let's see. We got Red Kill in here, as well as Daniel still hanging out with us, as well as Edwards. Hello, Ted. Appreciate you all joining in here tonight. 11 of you joining live on the horizontal broadcast. As if you're over there in the vertical broadcast, make sure you mosey your on way over if you want to get your chat read. Here's the opening lap incident here, how we had sort of a snowball effect here heading into turns 2, 3, and 4, I believe this is. This could be Jacob Tutwiler. He's on the outside line. He didn't quite find that qualifying lap there, so he had to start a little bit further in the back of the pack. And here, I'll make things a little bit easier on us here. Jacob Tutwiler, he's going to go wide here. This is what we started to see there in the slow-mo portions. And then he's just going to get ran into the back of there by the Marlboro Red. Is that the number 8? I believe that is of Chingiz. And then that just sends Jacob Tutwiler right there around in front of 2 other drivers. That's going to be Chingiz with another pilot's license gains there. And then I believe that is also Jason Bryan with also just nowhere to go there. Let's hop on board with Jason Bryan. Try to sive it down the outside. He's going to set up the crossover move here, and then, well, there's just nowhere to go. Oh, he tried. Jason's his hands were as far turned to the left as they could possibly have been. There, just nowhere to go. Alrighty, 3 laps coming to put 4 laps down this time by Richardson, already with an 11.9 second gap. You best believe it, we got the real life racing cam here for him on the left side. I think this is one of my favorite things to do here as we take a look at Caden Richardson. I mean, cool, calm, and collected, really not putting too much really mental effort into it. Just now that he's found his groove here. But this is one of the cool things that I like to look at, the virtual live cam on the right side and then versus the actual live cam on the left. You can kind of compare and contrast as you see Caden Richardson obviously running the triple monitor setup there. Just putting down some clean, calm, and cordial lap times. Remember, we saw Caden Richardson, he put down a 136 in qualifying. His last lap was a 138.7. We'll have to see what he is this time, guys. He continues to pull away from the race field. Chaz Johnson, Jasmine McAdoo are both into the pits as we speak. Micro adjustments there on the wheel there for Caden Richardson. That's what it takes to make some speed here around these SF23 machines. I mean, that's not the only, that's probably one out of 1,000 things it takes. But if you're looking for some coaching actions, a driver to get you a little bit more. Oh no, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, raining down there into the turn. Here we go. That's why we did see Jasvir as well as Chaz Johnson into the pits. I believe these drivers have on the wet weather tires, but honestly, it's a little bit early to put on some wet weather tires here. You can, if you have the heat already in them, it is possible that you can run for quite a few more laps until the racing line really starts to get caked within moisture. If you take a look at the right side of your screen, we'll take a look at the weather. This is updated right now. It's still saying cloudy, at least within this portion of the track. But if we look here between Zach Cardoso as he makes his way across, I believe that's the main start finish line there. It's really just light rain so far. At least that's what the iRacing weather is showing us. We got Hellraiser once again, the iRacing meteorologist, hanging out with us live in YouTube land. He was letting us know that that participation was on its way. I think I'm using that word right. Anyways, Jacob Tutwiler, he is back on the track. So is Chingiz Akhmatov right there in front of him. And right now, as we head once again and crest our way into really the more moist section of the track here, it's still really starting to heat up here between drivers number 8 and 7. As they're going to try and make their way all the way down into, I believe, that second gear, it sounded like this time by. Now we're looking at the rear diffuser cam of Chingiz Akhmatov. Here we got the nose camera, that's the roll bar camera up there on Jacob Tutwiler. Still only 0.5 of a second separating these two. Every driver right now still on the dry tire. Might be asking yourself, why? Why are these drivers still waiting? Well, because if you switch to that wet weather tire just a little too early, well, you're just going to burn off that tread. There's not hardly any moisture. We don't even see it rooster tailing at the rear ends just yet, at least within the portion of the track that we're in. But it's coming down sideways over here. It's going to be a strategy call here for these drivers if/when. Well, I think it's going to be when, but really the big question is if. I think I had that backwards, excuse me. It's not if, but is when there. I'll just try and save it here. As the old cameraman's going to get a haircut this time by, or at least oh, yep, here we go. Look out! Ooh, cameraman lives to find another day that time by. It continues to drizzle here tonight, 6 laps down out of 32. Caden Richardson, we were hoping that this rain could possibly slow and woe these drivers down, but Caden Richardson puts down a 18.9, call it 19-second gap here over at the field. As we continue to run just a little bit closer here between 6th and 7th place. Now you're starting to see some moisture come out the rear ends of these machines. It's definitely, I would call this pit stop at least within the next 4 to 5 laps. It's you don't want to wait too long, or you'll catch yourself around the slip and slide here out of these SF23 machines. But you don't want to wait you don't want to come in a little bit too early either, as before. Because of that reason that I have before mentioned, you don't want to burn up the wet weather racing tires. It's going to be a game of risk and reward here tonight from Silvertone Raceway, 6 laps down out of 32. Thank you each and every single one of you joining here tonight, as so far our drone operator somehow still has clearance as the rain continues to fall here. We're going to take a quick crank it up here, enjoy the sights and sounds of SF23 racing. Chingiz Akhmatov, Jacob Tutwiler still going at it here. I just deafened anybody there. I'm supposed to do that a little bit quieter. Apologies for that. I'm getting a little bit excited here because we do have that battling between Patrick Dunn and Zach Cardoso starting to heat up here. This is what I thought that we would see with this moisture here on the track, and as the rain continues to fall, well, we're seeing some nice battles here start to heat up. I'm like Daniel there, rain is my worst enemy, but it can definitely make for some fun battling as we're going to see Zach Cardoso dive it down the inside line. Oh, rear tires locked up there for Patrick Dunn. Somehow he's able to get that number 3 slowed and woed back down. Man, oh no, is that possible damage? It is damage from Patrick Dunn. What just happened? I didn't see anything from that camera angle, but it looks like there was definitely a little contact there. That's, I mean, this is open wheel racing, right? It doesn't take much to send one up. Oh no. Oh Lord. Hang on here, boys and girls. We're gonna have to bring out the old forklift here because was this contact here with oh, that was the contact there. The rear suspension just gone to, well, just nothingness there out of Zach Cardoso. Makes a slight bit of contact there with the rear end of the number 3. Let's hop on board with Zach here and we'll see what he saw. Apologies, we're gonna have to bring out the old forklift one more time, and here is Zach going this time. Oh. God, that sounded bad there. That sounded really bad there for really Patrick Dunn, but it looks like Zach Cardoso's front wing, although for it being fairly fragile as what's very fragile? As a as glass. It looks like Zach is going to continue to run in the second spot. Right now we do have 2 takers of the wet weather tires. So far it's going to be Jacob Tutwiler as well as Chingiz Akhmatov. They fall down to 5th and 6th, but after pitting on lap 6, the only other 2 drivers to pit so far in the race are sitting 3rd and 4th. And now, speaking of 4th, Chaz Johnson is in pit lane once again. Speaking of the old pit stop strategies, it's going to be pretty much just the game of wet weather tires versus dry. When does this wet weather dry up? Is there going to be a dry line forming? It's just it's once again it's a game of risk and reward here tonight. We see Daniel still hanging out with us. Someday we're gonna hear Sean fall out of his chair. Oh God. I'm telling you, I get a little too excited up here. Ricardo, we got you hanging out here with us. Ricardo, that's going to be a fun race there out at Bristol tonight. Gulp. Oh, boy. Daniel, appreciate what you did for us last week for what was going to be some Bristol out there. Took it to some, what was it, Kentucky action, and that was some fun mile-and-a-half racing. So stick around if you want to still see some sim racing action here right after some Super Formula 23 cars. We not only have some Gen 6 NASCARs for the Overdrive Gen 6 Cup Series at some street circuits, woohoo, out at Long Beach, coming up at 6:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. But yes, Ricardo will be racing in the Midwest Elite Racing ARCA Series live at the world's fastest half mile at Bristol Motor Speedway. Caden Richardson continues to lead out up front, not on any wet tire. Matter of fact, well, there's Chaz Johnson. Chaz Johnson's the highest running driver who has now put on wet weather tires. Jasvir Matthews, Zach Cardoso, and Caden Richardson are still running in the dries. Who else is out here hanging out in with us, YouTube land? Red Kill as well as Ted. Terry's still hanging out here with us. Thank you each and every single one of you. And once again, if you've stumbled across the stream on old YouTube Shorts, make sure you mosey your way on over here to the horizontal land. Promise, I don't bite, but I will read your chat here so we can all see who's viewing us here live, as only 3 drivers right now are left up on the lead lap of the race. Jacob Tutwiler right now, you can see the grooves in those wet weather racing tires. That's a great way to tell here if you're having trouble on telling who is still on dries and who's on wets. Well, not only is it 4th through 7th in the standings, but as well as you definitely you can see those big old grooves there, grooved within these wet weather tires. That's they're trying to get the water out of the way, out of the rubber, making contact with the tarmac here out of Silvertone tonight. We're going to pull up the old track map here, and you can start to see just how much of a gap 33 seconds is shown over the whole field for Caden Richardson. And right there, no, that is not 1 second, 23 milliseconds back there as Jasveer Mathrew. That is a whole 1 minute, 23 seconds back is as Jasveer. So there you see it. We're definitely starting to see the moisture rooster tail at the rear ends of these machines. We're going to start to see a wet line, a dry line forming. I know this is something that these drivers, there you go, almost saved it. So did Zach Cardoso. Woo! Zach Cardoso saved the race there tonight so far. Definitely got loose as a caboose out there at the drop of the green flag. Real quick, also, if you're just now joining us, let's take another look at the drop of the green flag here tonight. So this was the side-by-side heading into, I believe it was 3, 4, and 5, the more technical portion of the track. Yes, this is when conditions were dry, and then there's just a slight bit of contact there for the Jacob Tutwiler, as well as I believe that was that Marlboro Red number 8 machine of Chinguez there. And then once again there for Patrick Dunn, Jason Brown, there's just nowhere to go. And this time we'll take a look at it at race speed. Ah, man, Jacob tries to protect the inside line in this, and that's all it takes. We got front wings, we got rear wings, we got, can you imagine some diffusers popping up there as well. Anyways, that gets you to the race lead once again for Caden Richardson. If you're looking for some nice coaching action, Caden Richardson, he coaches quite a few of these drivers here within the HyperGrid Racing Series. There you see it. It looks like the rain let up at least down the short chute of one of the back stretches there that we have. I hate to do this here. I'd never like to bring up the UI in a race, but I am just curious. If you look in the top left of your screen there, that's sort of our weather bands that we're starting to see. It's a little bit of a front that's made its way across the racetrack. There's a little bit of dry pockets in there, and so that's why we've seen some not only dry section, some rain more in other sectors of the track than what we have seen, well, like in turns 4, 5, and 6, for example, than comparing to turns 15, 16, and 17 up there and out of, oh God, I had it there. That's out of Cops Bend, and then, oh, what's the S's section? Oh, I should know this. So come on now, Silvertone, somebody help me out here. As you were helping me out, the CEO cameraman, Billy Bob Joe, if he gets a haircut this time by, no, not this time, but you can definitely start to see these SF23s. Remember, we are hitting, I mean, upwards of 170, 160 miles an hour with these machines. It's not going to be long before we see this rain start to dry up, as well as, well, you see no rain falling this portion of the track. We will start to see that the drier line form, and if we look at the last lap time history between Zach Cardoso and Chaz Johnson, well, that's a lot of orange. Zach Cardoso, he continues to run away from P number 3. That is P number 2, and you know what P number 1 is doing? P number 2, it's the exact same thing. It's going to show a lot of orange, albeit this time by, it's a lot closer on the gaps. Caden Richardson with a 141, 142, 143, 144. So it looks like these track conditions are continuing to gain a little bit to the more wet ends of things. That's some, Caden Richardson, he just got a little flirty with the rumble strip there, the paint. That is also another big thing that you're going to want to avoid in these wet weather conditions. Those rumble strips, the paint, it can send you down, out, and around the slip and slide in definitely a heap of time there. That's why we're starting to see, yep, even through the more, oh, yep. Give it the old Sean and Tater curse as Caden Richardson, he's going to have lost. That's probably going to be a 4 to 5 second slowdown. Oh no, Caden Richardson, his gap is going to come down to 46. It's still growing. Looks like Zach Cardoso is struggling out here as well in these tough, treacherous conditions. Let's hop on board and see with what happens to Zach Cardoso. His own Caden Richardson is in the pits. Remember, Caden Richardson is still on the dry tires. Here's Zach Cardoso's incident. Zach is also still on dry tires. I think these drivers have had enough as it just took a little bit of a nick out of the inside rumble strip, inside paint line, whatever it may have been there for Zach. It's going to send him around. And here we're going to hop on board with Caden Richardson and see what he saw as he started four-wheeling that SF23 machine. Just a little bit too deep into the corner there. Can't quite get it to rotate there on corner exit. He's going to reboot and rearm. He's going to put some wet tires on it, and that's how fast his pit stop was. From the last time we looked at him there, he already has the treaded tires on. You do see the moisture flying out the rear ends of these machines, but I am a little concerned here for Caden Richardson. Sure, the track, it's definitely still wet, but yeah, sure, we are about halfway to go in the race. Will we start to see that dry line form, and will it start to eat at these wet weather machines? Here's two teammates in one camera shot at it here. Caden Richardson, he's going to make his way around his Red Bull Racing teammates there. I believe that is Chad Johnson, driver number 24. Two Oracle Red Bull machines running in the top podium positions. Chaz Johnson runs third. Here comes the Jacob Tutwiler, as well as Zach Cardoso is down and out of the pits, this time by in the number 1 machine. All drivers now on the racetrack are on wet weather tires. Jacob Tutwiler down here and running in the 4th running position. He's gained 1 spot since the drop of the green flag. But you know who's gained the most? It's Chingiz Akhmatov. Even though he did have that little bit of a slip and slide there in turn number 1, he definitely got that number 8 Marlboro Red machine all repaired back up. Live to fight another day. He's going to somehow, some way use some rumble strips there, even in these wet weather conditions. He's going to live to fight another day. That's why that's not a brake light. That is the rain light there on the rear ends of these machines, helping within the mist that comes out of, well, the rear end diffuser. Allows these drivers to better show where their co-racing counterparts out there are in front of them. As really this band of rain has pretty much moved its way across the racetrack here. Sure, we did see that tiny bit of a sprinkle there into turn 17 and 18 this time by. It'll be interesting to see if this is, yeah, it's really only raining turns 17, 18, well, you can call it 16, 17, and 18. So, will there, okay, right as I say it, give it the old Sean and Tater curse on the weather. Pretty much last sector as well as sector number 1. So, I think that there definitely will still be enough moisture here to keep these tire temps cool enough that they're not going to completely fall apart here tonight. But with a 53.2-second gap and the lap times ranging in a 151, it'll be interesting to see if, I'm curious to see if our race leader here, Caden Richardson, driver with 2,390 road course iRacing, is able to lap the field here. He's going to have only one more driver to deal with. That's going to be Zach Cardoso right there behind him. Red Bull Racing running 1 and 3 here tonight. Neil's saying he wishes he had the skills to race in a series like Neil. I'm right there with you, man. Or another one. 41 subs to go. Can we get there before the end of the night? Oh boy. If we do, oh, that's going to be a party thrown there in the admin box. Midwest Elite Racing ARCA series coming at the end of tonight. Sandwiched in between, though, is, of course, the Overdrive Gen 6 Cup Series coming at you live from the streets of Long Beach. Daniel, if you're still here joining with us, that's obviously the league owner. Well, we got 2 different league owners here for the 2 upcoming broadcasts. Making me smile just talking about them, as well as making me smile. Look at the 13 viewers live right now on SSN. Hey, what are we at here? They're saying 41 subs to go to 1,000. Tell your neighbor, tell your grandma, tell your kitty cat, as well as we're going to continue to crest our way closer and closer to it. Can it happen tonight? Does it happen tonight? I am open, so we're going to have a merch giveaway at the left quarter panel here once we do reach it. Matter of fact, we've actually shipped off already quite a few boxes to the YouTube members there. If you're looking to become a YouTube member here for SSN, you not only get some private merch and private care packages sent your way, but also I'm starting to revamp the tiers we have there, and let's just say, even if it's a little $5 a month that you happen to give us here, it's definitely, I will show you my appreciation out my left quarter panel as well. Back to some virtual racing though for the HyperGrid SF23 series. Let's see here. Oh, hang on. Before we get back to some virtual racing action, I had just noticed the rooster tails here tonight are as biggest as they have looked all night, especially as we left out the rear diffuser camera out of Hayden Richardson's rear end. Look at that. That's why we have the blinky bright red LEDs at the rear end of these machines. If there was a car right there behind him, it would allow him to see him just a little bit better. As man, if it continues to rain here out of turns 16, 17, and 18, even in turns 1, I'm curious to see if we're going to start to see some puddles start to accumulate. As I know this is something I've started to say, race in and race out, but iRacing, there's a reason we don't call it a video game, ladies and gentlemen, or a vidya game if you're like me here from the South. There's a reason we call it iRacing Simulation Motorsports, because we have air simulated, we have okay, I'm not going to go down the whole list. It would take me the whole rest of the stream and then some. But the biggest thing tonight is, I mean, it took iRacing, it took them, how long? I mean, years and years to get this iRacing rain and moisture model all right to where they thought it should be. And although that they continue to release newer cars here season in and season out that are able to race within the rain, it's something that I think that they have gotten almost exactly right. You can talk to a few drivers here and there, and there's definitely some a little bit of nitpicking that can go on within the different levels of moisture and so forth. But back to the old simulator battle here tonight, and the reason that we call it Simulation Motorsports is you just can't get much better than it, especially here at a series like the HyperGrid Racing SF23 series. Even with 8 drivers here tonight, Labor Day race weekend. I mean, this is still, even to have 8 drivers here with us. I know it's only showing 6 up on the top left of the screen. That is because Patrick Dunn as well as Jason Bryan have now found their way into the virtual garage here. So, closest battle out on track is going to be between Oracle Red Bull as well as... you have to bear with me, I'm still learning the teams, but it's going to be Jacob Tutwiler. Remember, Red Bull is leading within the F1 team standings with 135 points. Alfa Romeo running right there behind him. Sean, if I hug you, will I get a free Daniel, I'll tell you, man, you've done enough here for some the old merchandise. Let me PM me your info there, Daniel. Man, I got you, of course, man, of course. As anybody who wants it here, as we continue to approach our way to 1,000, that is pretty much when it's all going to get sent out there. So be sure you get your little orders in there. So, as well as we'll have some SSN merch once again out the left rear quarter panel. You know, these drivers are starting to drive out their left quarter panel here tonight as Chaz Johnson. I'm not sure if you guys caught that last time by, but he definitely had to start feathering that gas pedal there. The rear end started to slip there a little bit, especially as the more and more moisture gets accumulated here on Silvertone. Jacob Tutwiler, it looks like Jacob, even with, I mean, it's been an uphill battle here since the drop of the green flag. Involved in incident 1 of the race, had to make his way 5.8 kilometers all the way around the racetrack, finally able to pit, take the fast repair, take some wets here earlier on within the pit stop strategy. He's able to make his wets tires really sort of live here at least until lap 18. This is going to get pretty good here coming up within the last sort of third of this race. Really closest battle that we have out here on track. It's within Chaz Johnson and Jacob Tutwiler here. Only 0.3 of a second separating these two. And look at how deeper Jacob Tutwiler is able to get his way, gaining time into the braking zones there. Even in the wet conditions, this has been a trouble corner here coming out of 16, 17, and 18 this time by. It's going to about to be a game of inches between these two drivers, because we have seen if you get a little bit deeper in the braking zone, it can be not only the end of the night for the driver in front of you, but it can also be the end of your night as well. Jacob Tutwiler, he's continuing to show some space, show some race craft as well. I can't tell if he's just biding his time, waiting for an opportunity here, or if he's actually struggling to get around Chaz Johnson for that final driver interview spot. And this is big. I know this is only race 5 of the season, but this is pretty big within the point standings. Remember, Red Bull is kicking everybody's tires here tonight. Well, within the point standings, within the season thus far. But as Zach Cardoso, Chaz Johnson, and Jacob Tutwiler continue on second, third, and fourth. Really, this battle for third and fourth between Chaz Johnson and Jacob Tutwiler, it could get to the nitty-gritty here within these drivers and their point standings. At least the not the team standings, but their overall driver point standings. If you're just now with us here, I will say, ooh, okay, I'll save that for a better time, as we're going to maybe look down the inside there for Jacob. He's going to regroup and rearm. Not only is it tough to drive here behind another driver with all of this spray coming up at the rear end, but you still have that dirty air coming off the front or the rear end of their diffuser, up and across the front and underneath your SF23 machine. It's just tighter and tighter conditions the closer and closer that you get to that rear end. Caden Richardson put down a 1:47 this time by. It looks like the track is continuing to be some slower conditions here tonight as the rain continues to fall. Here we go, out of turn number 18 this time by. Do we see any overtake used this time with Jacob? No, he's going to wait for it. He's going to try and get the slipstream and draft, though. Does he have a move here to turn number 1, 2, and 3? Doesn't look like it this time by, but what about the technical portion? 4, 5, and 6 as Chaz Johnson goes for a blink right up there in front of him. Here we go. Doesn't look like he quite has it. Ooh, front left lock up there, slightly out of there, Jacob Tutwiler. Looks like both these machines live to fight another lap here, with the lap times ranging within only 1 minute 40 seconds. Caden Richardson only about 36 seconds ago until he puts the whole field 1 lap down. Here we go. Is it going to be a battle here of the century between these two drivers? Chaz Johnson, once again, he's going to run the paint, run the rumble strips. You're only going to lose corner exit speed doing that as you fight for grip on the paint line. Here you see it. Jacob Tutwiler's going to run a little loose as well. Here we go down the goodness gracious, heading into the S's section here. Jacob, ooh, you got to regroup himself there as he once again gets a little too deep as he's going to try and fight that dirty air, fight against the mist coming all over the front end of his visor and race car there. Pause. Chaz Johnson, he's trying to fight for his right to party here tonight in that final driver interview spot. 0.30 seconds separating third and fourth. Wow, I thought Jacob would try and just dive it down the inside. Thought we would see him set up the crossover move that time by. Doesn't look like it. I don't think Jacob, I mean, he's trying to make the pass right now, but you're running out of time with only, 11, 12 laps to go within this race. So here we go once again. Jacob Tutwiler's going to have a run down the outside line this time. Every time he gets within 0.2 of a second, really just not able to do anything with it. Alrighty, thank you so much here for joining in live on STAM Studio Network. We're going to take a break real quick from one of our sponsors and affiliates. There's some camera settings I need to adjust just briefly, so stick with us. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Thanks, everybody. Alrighty, welcome back here, STAM Studio Network. Caden Richardson continues to lead out front. Zach Cardoso, Chaz Johnson running first, second, and third. Real quick, got to thank the sponsors and affiliates up there in the top right of the screen. Thank you for HyperGrid Racing coming out and giving us a show here tonight. The Formula I World Championship Series for shouting out Cotton Bowl Speedway as well, just outside there out of Austin, Texas, for some dirt track racing, as well as Race to Stop Suicide. Check on those friends and family members, those around you. Also, if you're just now joining in the vertical broadcast, make sure you mosey your way on over to horizontal land, as that's where I'm reading off all the chats here tonight. Thank you, everybody, joining us live in YouTube land. Joining us a show here tonight is we have 2 races coming up after this one, 2 different leagues. Obviously, the Gen 6 Overdrive Cup Series live at Long Beach, and then the Admin Box Midwest Elite Racing ARCA Series live from Bristol Motor Speedway. Also, come on now, you can bump the quality of this broadcast up here. You can press the little gear icon. You can bump it up to 1440p, 60 frames a second. I promise you, you're going to want to do that here as we continue to see not really battles here between drivers, but some really nice, well, excuse me, I take that one back. We do see still Jacob Tutwiler and Chaz Johnson continuing to run just about a second apart. But as Chaz Johnson was able to get around Jacob Tutwiler, he's able to hold him off thus far. Here's a quick replay at it here. At least when Chaz made his way around Jacob. Okay, there was a little bit of a blink there, and then here comes Jacob to try and set up the crossover. We're going to try that one more time and see it from Jacob's perspective, at least from the old... yeah, that was the big blink out that we saw when we were on board with Jacob, so I apologize there. Chaz, the blink just completely messed with the old SDK timing and scorings there. But it did not mess between their battle. He continues to blink out, but continues to retain within his position on track. We're going to hop on board with Jacob Tutwiler once again as, here we go, things look a little bit easier to be seen, although he's got the sand in his, the sun in his eyes as he almost went for a run-up in the sands there. That's why I was already thinking of it. Man, oh man, he put the mustard on that sausage curve, trying to take a bite out of it. Thankfully, Jacob lives to fight another day there and won't find himself within the outside sand section, but he is finding himself within, once again, 0.7 of a second of that final driver interview spot. Only 9 laps to go in the race. Chaz Johnson continues to flash and blink his way and try and run away from Jacob Tutwiler. Okay, so once I see my name pop up in the old YouTube, I know that I've done something. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you all. We see you chatting up a storm here tonight. Thank you, Daniel, Ricardo, Neil, if you're still here hanging out with us. Terry, Ted, Redkill, Hellraiser. Hellraiser let us know the rain was coming here tonight. Hell, if you're still hanging out with us. A little double entendre there, if that's even what it's called. I thought it would just be a little bit of a band, a little front making its way across Silvertone, but it's really been coming down all throughout. Yeah, still starting 16, 17, and 18 pretty much ever since he mentioned it earlier on in the run. Caden Richardson knows how to run in some moisture conditions here tonight. So does Zach Cardoso as he runs in the second position, tied with our second biggest mover of the night. Chaz Johnson's minus a spot after qualifying second position. He sits third place. Jacob Tutwiler, Chingiz Akhmatov running in the fifth after he's our biggest mover here tonight. Akhmatov in the fifth position after gaining 2 spots earlier on. He's going to crawl his way down out of turn number 18 this time by. We're going to continue to crest our way a little closer till some white and checkered flag action. Real quick before we get a little too close at it, here's once again this Chaz Johnson. Jacob Tutwiler goes deep. He put the post-it note on that one and sent it through the mail. He's going to lose quite a bit of tenths there, I believe 2 to 3 tenths. All right, final time here tonight. Go ahead and enjoy the sights and sounds of these SF-23s ripping around Silvertone. My name is Sean Stam, Stam Studio Network. We're cresting our way to 1,000 subscribers. And I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. slowly crank this puppy back down. I'm up here back with you in the booth, and that was a great camera shot about 2 cuts ago. I mean, you saw Jacob Tutwiler once again, the rear ends of these machines just loose in these wet conditions. Well, I wouldn't even call them wet. I'd call them damp at this point. Well, I call it freaking wet, I guess. It takes not only micro adjustments here behind the wheel. Speaking of micro adjustments, last time I talked about that, we were seeing Caden Richardson live camera view. It doesn't only take micro adjustments, but micro throttle adjustments, micro brake adjustments in the brain. It just makes it tougher and tougher. Well, Caden Richardson with the 65-second gap out here up front, he's letting us know just how tough it is. Look at him, still cool, calm, and collected there. Even got the old IMSA shirt on. I think there's some die-cast action there behind him. We might have to make the old die-cast of his SF23 Oracle Red Bull machine here, because he continues to rewrite the SSN iRacing history books, now with possibly one of the biggest gaps of a lead that I have ever seen in some action here on SSN, and that just goes to show. I mean, this is 2,390 road course I rating for Caden Richardson. It's not a fluke. Like I've said here before, he is a coach. He coaches quite a few of these drivers. I know quite a few of their drivers aren't able to make it out here tonight, being a Labor Day weekend, but hopefully all the drivers that have also made their way down into the broadcast, you're having yourselves a really nice Labor Day weekend here, at least depending on where you're from. Caden Richardson just putting it down here tonight. 138.28 was his best lap by. His last lap by was actually a 147.38. So that's just how slower things are within slower racing conditions. Excuse me. What am I looking for? With more moist racing conditions, you can call it here. About 6 laps to go. Zach Cardoso, Sis P2, Chaz Johnson. He continues to have to play some Super Bowl defense over Jacob Tutwiler. Still 0.8 of a second separating our final driver interview spot. Chaz Johnson, he's doing everything he can right now. At this point, I wouldn't even be looking in the mirrors or even the relative box. I mean, you got to glance at it on the straightaways, but just hit the corner apexes, hit the entries, hit the apexes, the exits as well. And you continue to do what you do all race season here so far. And this is right, we've seen Red Bull sort of start to pull the gap on the field within the overall team constructors point standings. Jacob Tutwiler now with a 0.9 of a second gap separating 3rd and 4th. If we look at the lap time history between our 3rd and 4th drivers, it's a lot of back and forth here, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 20 faster is Tutwiler. Lap 21, 22 faster is Johnson. And then there you see that back and forth cat and mouse. It's not only on the graph, but it's visual, as now we will start to look side by side between the final driver interview spots. Here we go. Chaz Johnson, he's able to find a little more grip there heading into turn number 1. Somehow, some way, he's going to live to fight another day, but at this point, I don't think it's if. It is when does Jacob Tutwiler find a move down the inside? Does he find a crossover move there on Chaz Johnson out there, out and up front? Here we go. 5 laps to go. This time by, these drivers still running on the wets, still running in the moisture. Caden Richardson still running with a 1.17 gap. Jacob Tutwiler, if you have anything for the man there up in front of you right now, is the time. You got to make it shine. Here we see Jacob Tutwiler. He is running off of the preferred racing line. There will be less rubber baked into the racing surface. There will be a little more moisture for those wet racing tires to work with there. There you see him also running down. He's not only breaking the slipstream and draft there on the long straightaway, but like I said earlier in the broadcast, he is keeping these wet weather tires cooler by, I mean, it's a simple math, right? You put water on something hot, it's going to cool it down. Caden Richardson down and into pit lane with a 1.17 gap. He has now made his stop. This was a 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 second stop. Excuse me, he has not made his stop just yet. Here we go. He's slowly crawling his way down with a 1.19, a 1 minute 1.9 gap second there to P number 2. Will we possibly see Zach Cardoso steal away a win here tonight? I wouldn't think so. You have to imagine Caden Richardson knows what he's doing. You saw his car up on the invisible air jacks. He gets some newer Caden Richardson switched to the dry tires. Not only are these dry tires tremendously cold at this moment, but we're still seeing gravel, goodness. We're still seeing moisture, rooster tail at the rear ends of these machines. Now with a goodness, I don't think the graphic's updating right now because it is now almost 1 lap separating Caden Richardson and Zach Cardoso. It should update this time by. Ooh boy, this is gonna get tight here coming into our last 5 to 4 laps of the race. Can Caden Richardson, I don't think he'll be able to put the whole field 1 lap down, but will he be able to hold on to his SF23 on these dry racing tires? Here we go into our high-speed section of the track. We're at moisture once again, rooster tailing at the rear end of it. Here we go. He's going to find this to be a little tight. Yep, I was going to start to say that. You're going to start to see him run a little bit wide there, especially off that paint line. Once again, that SF23 is going to be a little bit harder to control. Matter of fact, and speaking about how hard it is to control, our race leader is starting to hold up some lap traffic right here. Caden Richardson. There you see him on the right side of your screen. We're looking at Jacob Tutwiler and Chaz Johnson right here. That's that final driver interview spot. It is broiling right here in front of us. Here we go. Chaz Johnson, he's not going to have the inside spot. Jacob Tutwiler finally gets it around. I know that happened just a couple of turns ago. I'll have a race replay of it here in a few moments' time. But as Caden Richardson starts to beat and bang, but sort of get in the way with his dry tires here within Jacob Tutwiler and Chaz Johnson. This is 0.5 of a second that we've seen lap after lap after lap continue to close, continue to open right back up. Jacob Tutwiler says, "Sorry, Caden, Mr. Race Leader, but I have places to be." Then right now, that's to P3 down and around the inside. Nice pass there for Jacob Tutwiler as he's going to get his lap back over race leader Caden Richardson. He's going to bring Chaz Johnson right there with him for 3rd and 4th running position. Here we go down the outside line one more time here tonight. What a move for Chaz Johnson. There I didn't think that there was enough grip in these wet weather tires to make a pass like that happen on the outside line, but what a move, what a move. Never have I ever happened in coming out of, oh boy, I think that was turn 6 and 7 that time by. Now Jacob Tutwiler is going to have to deal with a hard charging race leader on his rear bumper after he just made his pass out and around him. Real quick, here is a race replay at how Jacob Tutwiler made, oh my God, that couldn't have been closer from that rear diffuser and that front wing of Jacob Tutwiler and Chaz Johnson there. Good gracious, the 7 takes the lead of the moment for the final driver interview spot. And here we saw the move that we just saw a couple laps ago. This is Chaz Johnson, zips it around the outside. How in the world was there enough grip left out there? I don't know. That's going to be possibly our SSN sweet move of the race right there. Oh no, 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 Zach, no. Zach Cardoso showing a black flag right now. He either has a time penalty or most likely what this is it's going to be a drive-through penalty for our Canadian driver of the number 1. It's unfortunate here because Zach, he has sliced and diced his way up through the field here. He has gained 1 spot since the drop of the green flag, but unfortunately after, whether it's too many off-track incidents, whether it's not taking a slowdown, we'll have to dive into it here back behind the scenes, but with only 2 laps to go, he does have, I will add this, he does have that 58.9 second gap. Here we're going to start to see him. So it just constitutes, is this a drive-through penalty? He made sure he wasn't speeding that time, if it was speeding. So is this a drive-through or is this a stop and go? Is it a 40-second hold? This is all going to constitute our top 2 and 3 and possibly even final driver interview spots. We're going to hang on board here with Zach Cardoso and see if it's just one of those before mentioned penalties. Alrighty, there you see it. A little drive-through penalty will clear that black flag as Caden Richardson makes his way through a yellow sector. We got Patrick Dunn joining us live in YouTube land. Oh, Patrick, I'm feeling for you, man. I caught a few replays of it there, saw it happen. I think we hopped on board with Jason. Yeah, let's do it here. Since, I mean, only 2 more laps to go in the race. We can hop on board with Patrick and see what happened. At least his last incident here. I believe we saw it, but man, he gets the sun in his eyes. The rumble strip there to the, oh, this is already after the fact, I do believe. Yeah, that's, yeah, we did see that race replay earlier on in the race for the number 3. Just contact there out of the left rear quarter. That's an inside joke if you're watching the whole broadcast. Just contact with the left rear suspension there out of the rear end for I believe that was Patrick Dunn, and unfortunately his night is done early. But Patrick, I really appreciate you and thank you for joining us here in the live YouTube chat here for the final 2 laps of the race. And yes, live timing and scoring is not lying to you. If we can see the mug. Here we go. There's going to be Chingiz Akhmetov. He also had, I think this one was a little bit longer than a stop, excuse me, a drive-through. I think this one was a slight stop. His pit stop was a 1 minute 22 second stop there. Oh. Okay, no, I think I'm wrong. That was possibly just a drive-through. There's, right when we cut to it, Caden Richardson. Woo, you better hang on to it, Caden. Yeah, you're starting to flirt with disaster in the words of old Motley Crue. I don't know. As we make our way to our final lap here of the race, especially through Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel here as we make our way through. On the Hanger Straight, with only coming to 1 lap to go this time by, looks like Caden Richardson is going to live to fight at least another day, at least another lap here this time by. Woo, Caden, you only have 5.8 kilometers, only 18 more turns to go. Oh, 18, really 20 if we're being for real about it. But this Oracle Red Bull Racing machine, this is why we have seen time and time. I mean, what is this? Is this going to be 3 wins back to back to back? I don't want to speak too soon with only 1 more lap to go, but this could very well be so as he's running right there behind his teammate. White flag is out here. Barney is waving that white flag loud and proud. Looks like he's not opting to put his teammate Chaz Johnson down a lap. At least not here just yet. Chaz Johnson, his car gets tight there into turns 4, 5, and 6. Final lap here tonight. Chaz Johnson is fighting for his life on that final driver interview spot as Jacob Tutwiler passed him, lost it, passed him, lost it, passed him once again, and then lost it once again. That's going to be a couple of replays we'll have to view during the live driver interviews here in a few moments' time. Chingiz Akhmetov, after a incident earlier on in the race, runs P5. Jasveer Matharu runs P6. Patrick Dunn, that's once again why you're not seeing 7 or 8 drivers on the live timing and scorings, is Patrick Dunn is unfortunately live to the virtual garage here tonight. Look at the argy-bargy. That was almost contact between teammates as Caden Richardson says, sorry man, Chaz, I know we're buddies here, but I got places to go. And this is up and through Maggots, Beckett's for the final time here tonight. Only 3 more turns. Almost contact between teammates, but they both live to fight another night. Caden Richardson, he is not only gone to victory lane, not only last week. Caden Richardson, he's not only gone to victory lane the week before and the week before that, but Caden Richardson, he is leading us in the points. His team is starting to run away with the points. Only on race 5 here live out of Silvertone, Caden Richardson is rewriting the iRacing Stam Studio Network history books. It's going to be Richardson back to back to back victory lane. Yes, sir. Number 1. Show it loud and proud. Caden Richardson, another race win. Burn it down. Burn it down. Oh, right in front of the AMR safety crew. There you go, buddy. Congratulations, Caden. Can't wait to chat with you in some live driver interviews, as well as get our unofficial, official race results here for you in a few moments' time. Caden, buddy, burn it down, burn it down. Oh, my days. What a race, what a finish, and what a gap there. Holy guacatules. We're going to make our way down and across the start-finish line, unofficially official, this time by Zach Cardoso. Zach, will he Is that going to get P2? I'm still not showing the checkered flag on the timing and scorings. Oh, no. I think we're going to have to... Oh, boy. Do I bring up the UI? I'm scared. I'm scared. Hang on. I'm scared. Okay, I guess SDK is throwing a fit here for us, so it looks like it will be Caden, Zach, and Chaz, our top 3 drivers, making their way to live driver interview booth. Jacob Chetwato will finish up P4, Chingiz Akhmatov, Jasveer Mathru, Patrick Dunn, and Jason Bryan, rounding out our 8 driver field here tonight. Thank you all drivers for putting on a show. Thank you all fans for joining us here live on Stam Studio Network, and also don't go anywhere. We also have some other broadcasts coming up live here in just a few moments' time. And drivers, if you're top 3, be sure you make your way down to the live driver interview room. Or speaking of which,
nice.
Hey, Caden Richardson, this is Sean Stam live down in Victory Lane. Got yourself a copy, man.
What's up, man?
Alrighty, Caden, that is another win in the books here for the driver number 82. Walk us through it, man. Especially, did you know that the rain was about to start to fall?
We had an idea, yeah. We just didn't know when. So we were waiting on that.
Man, that's definitely it'll make some strategy calls here tonight. We saw that you actually had enough time to make your way down into the pits and put on the dries the last couple laps of the race. What was the grip level last couple laps within the dries compared to the wets?
Terrible for like three or 4 laps. Those last 2 laps, those dries were good, as long as I did not touch a curb. If I touched the curb, I was cooked.
Man, I was scared when I saw those dries come on there, but as soon as you started to build at least a little bit more heat on them, it looked to be a-okay there. Caden, congratulations on another race win. Who we shouting out to, man? Who makes it all possible?
Gotta thank the league admins for setting up this race, almost making it go dark during it. And then shout out P1Docs.com and RSA. Also, this epic broadcast. I always forget that one.
No worries, man. Thank you so much, Caden. That goes a long way there behind the scenes. Congratulations on another race win, and have a great rest of your night, man.
Thank you, you too.
Hey, Zach Cardoso, this is Sean Stam live in the top 3 podium finishers victory lane. You got yourself a copy up here in the booth.
Hello, how are you guys?
Doing all right, doing pretty well. How are you? I bet you're dripping, not from the rain, but from the sweat here tonight.
Yeah, I am. I was a sweaty one for sure. I am dripping right now. It's very warm in my place.
Man, I'm kind of with you up here in the booth. I'm sweating just watching you guys try and keep it out here on track. How are the grip levels after it started to just not really pour, but it started to rain a little bit?
Yeah, the grip on the dry tires was okay, and I didn't know the rules in the league when it was declared wet, if you had to pit or if you still had to or if you could stay out on the dries. I was thinking about staying out, but as soon as I pit on the tires, the grip was pretty crazy. Actually, I was surprised. I was talking to Jas in another Discord during the race, and we were both super surprised at how much grip the wet tires had, because it wasn't crazy wet around the whole track, but it was like you were through Maggots and Beckett's, you would have to be really careful. Through turn 1, you had to be really careful. And as soon as we put the wets on, it was like it was dry. There was a ton of grip on those tires.
Oh man, I didn't think it would be that big of a difference, but man, I guess enough rain falls that track. I don't know. Track was taken to the moisture pretty well up until then, and I mean, I don't know. It was lots of fun to watch you slice and dice your way back up through the field. I know you started 3rd. You finished 2nd here tonight. Zach, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out for your race here tonight at Silvertone?
Just the guys who set this race up. It was, yeah, I appreciate the guys who host the sessions. Obviously, it costs money to do this. So yeah, big shout out to them. And you guys do a good job. I've watched back the broadcasts that I've been a part of and even a couple before. So thank you guys for doing it, because it makes it fun to go back and watch it and be a part of. So cheers to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Zach, and have a great rest of your night, and best of luck to you our next race.
Thanks, boys.
All right, believe it's going to be P3 somehow, some way, after back and mouth, cat and mouse, back and forth there. Chaz Johnson, after finishing P2 a week ago from Hockenheim Ring, will bring it home. Final podium position spots here tonight. Chaz Johnson, you got yourself the copy, man.
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Alrighty, back-to-back podium finishers. What is going through your mind here as you were going back and forth there with Jacob Tutwiler? Not only one, not 2 laps, but pretty much through the whole race, man.
Yeah, I think he's a bit faster than me. Just playing hard defense there for most of the race. We had a sketchy incident into T1, but that was fine. Then obviously Caden has to come out right in front of me, and that's how we got past that one time, but ended up getting past him back. Plus I spun earlier in the race. I think it was on dry, so I was a little disappointed in myself, but somehow managed a P3, so be happy with that.
I was about to say, with all that happened, at least you got the old final podium spot, and that's going to help within the points as well, continuing to run right up there with them. Chaz, before we let you get going, man, is there anybody you would like to thank or shout out here for let you racing with us every Sunday night?
Just got to thank everybody who puts the league together. Got to thank everybody who showed up tonight. Obviously, thank you for broadcasting. It was always fun to watch back after the races.
Goodness gracious. Thank you so much, Chaz, and thank you for putting on a really good show for the fans here tonight. Some side-by-side, a lot of fun to watch, and have a great rest of your night, man.
Appreciate it. You as well. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, and thank everybody else for joining us here live in Stam Studio Network. If you're watching live or just happen to catch the race broadcast back here, I thank each and every single one of you live in YouTube chats right now. It's real quick before we let you get going. We got to check and see who wins the chat here tonight. It's going to be Terry Stam coming in P number 1, Ricardo Cano there in P number 2 for the chat, and Daniel coming in P number 3. Thank you, Patrick, as well, for joining in here tonight. I know your race really wasn't what you were wanting it to be, but hey, you always got there next week. They're live from... where are we live next week? Hang on. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I just... here it is. Live from... the Hungarian. Oh, boy. Okay. That one will be sunny out there, so no rain. And then we got an off week, and then heading to a rain-soaked Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Alrighty, thank you everybody. That's going to just about do it for me. I'm back-to-back broadcast tonight, so gonna have to start setting up some Overdrive Gen 6 Cup Series, and then live one more time tonight for the Admin Box Midwest Elite Racing League. Thank you everybody for joining us here live tonight, Stam Studio Network. Tell your neighbor, tell your grandma, tell your kitty cat as well. On the way to 1,000 subscribers. And that would just mean the world to me if you did, or made an account for him as well. It's okay, it happens every now and then. In all seriousness, from the bottom of my heart, thank you each and every single one of you. Have a great rest of your night, rest of your Labor Day weekend, and I'll catch you just about for the next HyperGrid racing race about a week's time. Thanks everybody.